لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So we'll begin again, inshallah. Thank you for waiting. Inshallah, the intention will be to we will gather ourselves for only a few moments, and then we will enter into dhikr. We will recite the Shadili Wird that is broken down into, it's an invocation, it's a recitation, a routine of invocation that we transmit to students and friends, which includes an astaghfirullah in it. So the invocation of asking for forgiveness from God, then the invocation of Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad, um, sending prayers upon the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then the invocation of Shahada, La ilaha illallah. So the intention will be to recite those in invocation with meditative presence. So I want to say a few words about this before we begin, or as we're beginning, in regards to the connection between, again, invocation and meditation. When Sufism combines these two, as Sufism normally does, or Islamic spirituality normally does, invocation becomes the outer practice, the objective practice, and meditation becomes the subjective practice or the subjective orientation of the heart. So Muraqaba, as it's called, meaning meditation, is really the contemplative orientation of the heart that is directed or opened unto God. And so it's inwardly one is fixed on God's presence. And if this is not possible, then at the least inwardly we are present for the invocation. And so that would be the human presence, element of muraqaba, what I sometimes call muhasaba. But when muraqaba is combined with dhikrullah, or the outer invocation, this is really what's happening. So we have an outer practice and we have an inner orientation. And so it is usually implicit regarding the inner orientation. But in my view, what's been needed is, especially in recent times, is an explicit recognition of this inner orientation of muraqaba. There's very few spiritual paths in Islam that emphasize muraqaba. Most spiritual paths or schools emphasize the dhikrullah, and of course that is the central means of attaining to, if we want to call it attaining, to being open unto ma'rifah and wilaya, or those are Arabic terms, or the essential means to the gnosis of God and the sanctification of the soul by God is the remembrance of God, is an active regimen, constant, consistent regimen of the remembrance of God, of the invocation of God and his names. However, what is really happening, because this is seen often as an outer practice, what's really happening is that the outer practice is helping us open ourselves to an inner orientation, opening, one could say unlocking the inner realities of the heart, right? By the grace of God, by the practice itself, by practices that come from the revelation. So it's important to understand this and to have this orientation, or to understand that as we are invoking, we are being present in our hearts, in the center of our being, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for God's presence. We are being present for God's presence. This being present for God's presence is what we call presence, or meditative presence. So the purpose of the inner orientation is to cultivate, or first to awaken an inner presence with God, what is often called Hudur al-Qalb in Arabic, a presence with God. And it is done firstly by commitment to outer invocation, which by the grace of God, its effects begin penetrating the levels of one's being. until it awakens the heart, until it goes from the outer tongue to the mind, to the breath, and then to the heart by the tawfiq, by the grace of God. So the more that we cultivate an inner presence, the more we help this process. So this is precisely where meditation is very important in in Sufi spiritual practice, in Islamic spiritual practice, and so I emphasize both in my teachings, in the teachings that I offer my friends and students and seekers. So I just wanted to mention that this is what we're always up to. I think those are who are here, know this, but it's important to sometimes, explicate it, to say it in words. But when you're here in the presence of the Zawiya, one immediately feels more centered and more open in their heart, more still, inwardly, which may lead to an expression of physical stillness and contemplativity. Uh, but we combine this sense of inner contemplativity with outer invocation or outer prayer. Right? So this is really dhikrullah is where outer prayer meets inner meditation. And the combination is really what we could call contemplation. And God knows best. So that'll be our intention again for tonight's session. We will simply gather ourselves and empty ourselves with a few minutes of silent muraqaba. I ask that you all kind of use as a support the breath. So I will not guide you in that. We'll just do that for a few minutes. Then we'll begin the invocation of the Shadali Wird, a very modified version of it, what I've already explained. Then we'll enter the silence again after this. And then then I'll orient you with a few words here and there for the next step of the practice, which will then be to either awaken or to deepen in the Muraqaba gates with the help of the invocation of Allah's name. When we get there, those who are simply listening for the first time and are participating, I ask you to simply participate in silence. So be completely heart open, heart present, but just simply meditatively listen to the invocation that will be coming from us. So those who have my permission and the blessings to invoke the Supreme Name, please invoke the Supreme Name aloud, because it's a particular methodology in our in our practice that needs a permission, a special permission. I have granted a general permission, but also a special one. So both are important, and both need my permission or my blessings. Just with all due respect, I'm no one, but it's just the way this works. Alhamdulillah. And if you need something to actually do at that moment, which I trust that you won't, feel free to recite La ilaha illallah very slowly. So you may even say La ilaha illa Allah. So you're emphasizing the supreme name, the divine name, Allah. So you can feel free to do that. But simply listening to the invocation of the supreme name at that time, inshallah, should be enough. Right. So that'll be the practice. And it should take no more than 20 or so minutes, and then we can open the floor for a conversation, a suhbah, inshallah. So further instructions will come, at each stage, inshallah. So remember the instructions already. Bismillah. The intention here is to simply be present for yourself in order to be more present in your heart for Allah. So before we begin the outer invocation of Allah. Bismillah. use the contemplative constant or the contemplative support of the breath to be present. The in breath, be more present, and out breath, release and relax into your presence. Bismillah. As we begin this invocation, have the orientation that the dhikr of Allah will make us more present for ourselves, will purify us so that we are more present in our heart, and will make us more aware of Allah's presence. Bismillah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وما تقدموا لأنفسكم من خير تجدوه عند الله هو خير وأعظم أجر واستغفر الله إن الله غفور رحيم أستغفر الله 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 استغفر 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 الله العظيم الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم وأتوب إليه. With the help of the astaghfirullah, verify or feel that your attentiveness has turned more inwards and that the mind and the heart have been purified. How you're seeking a forgiveness by the invocation of astaghfirullah. Verify by seeing, by feeling that the attentiveness, that the attention, the attentive mind has gathered more and has turned slightly more inward on itself, on the heart. If this is so, if this has happened, contemplatively speaking, this is a successful tawbah, a successful astaghfirullah. Or when the attentive mind turns inward, the nafs has surrendered itself, submitting to the heart, where God's presence and God's gaze is located or is present. With the support of the breath, feel this inwardness of the pull of grace, of inwardness, the pull of inwardness of the attention by the divine grace. The energies of your attention are now concentrated in the center of your being, in your heart. This concentratedness, this one pointedness, is a kind of contraction of the energy of the attention. Now we will open this center, this heart, with the help of the grace contained in the salawat upon the Prophet. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد 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 عبدك ورسولك نبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. With the support of the breath, verify at the center of your being that your heart has opened. With the support of your breath, simply notice the quality of your experience, how you've gone from a scatteredness of your attention to a one pointedness of mind that sunk into the heart, and then an opening of that heart, a movement from one pointedness to a wholesome oneness. What we could call heartfulness in, in distinction to mindfulness, which is a one pointed attentiveness. This is a wholesome oneness and open oneness. Just simply register this. Note the quality of what you are in the present moment. And if any thoughts or feelings arise that still allow you to stay where you are, simply notice the quality of those thoughts or those feelings. In this shared oneness, this wahdaniyah of the open heart, shared between you and Allah's presence, we will now invoke La ilaha illallah, where this oneness unveils itself to be only God's. شهد الله أنه لا إله إلا هو والملائكة وأولو العلم قائما بالقسط لا إله إلا هو العزيز الحكيم إن الدين عند الله الإسلام لا إله إلا الله 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 سيدنا محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. as you return to the silence with open palms for your prayer, which reflects your open heart, the silence of the heart. Simply notice, with the help of the breath, the quality of this silence. Perhaps there's something quite subtle about this silence, or recognition that this subtlety of silence was always present, but we hadn't noticed it until the Shahada, that it was always present, that we were absent from it. And that only an awakening to the silence that is the divine oneness of La ilaha illallah allowed us and became the key to unlocking this knowing, this listening to this divine silence. With each breath, relax into listening to this sacred silence of oneness. And allow it with your open heart to teach you what you need to learn, whatever it is, about your silent oneness that is always present. Notice the quality of the transparency of this silence. In other words, if you were to open your eyes rather so slowly, and as you look down, a silence should remain. Are you veiled from silence when you open your eyes? Does hearing a sound veil you from the silence? Or does the sound arise in the spaciousness of the silence? The silence points you to directly by experience to God's presence with you. His presence that is always present with you as the silence. This is the inner contemplative gift of La ilaha illallah. try to rest in this and understand that there is no try and there's no effort needed to recognize or to notice the silence that is already present. You simply have to notice it. And the effort is needed in resting in it and staying with it. But the more we become aware of it, the easier it is. Feel free to use the support of the breath and verify this. From this place, the spaciousness of the silence or the evoked silence of the heart, evoked through the grace of the invocation of La ilaha illallah, we will now invoke the supreme name. As you invoke the divine name, or as you listen to the supreme name Allah, try to feel Allah's presence with you. Try to feel Allah's awareness of you. Feel God's awareness of you with each and every invocation of the supreme name. Bismillah. Allah. Om. 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 As you return to the silence, those who invoke a lot may continue listening to the inner reverberation or resonance of the Supreme Name in the silence of their being, in the silence of the heart. Perhaps now God is more fully present for you. Allahu Hadiri. God is present. God is already present. But my recognition of this already present presence has been evoked by the grace of the invocation of the divine name, Allah. Stay with this, with the support of the breath, and allow each breath to be a silent invocation of the supreme name, Allah. Bismillah. Muhammadan Rasulullah as we come out of this guided meditation and directed dhikr. Let us say the Fatiha. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد رحمة للعالمين.
لا إله إلا الله 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 لا إله إلا